Couple 1, 2, 3. Whop. Well, my friends, it is Monday, it is 6 p.m. like we said, and that means another Nymn's News Network. Now also available on YouTube if you've missed any previous ones. Hello, YouTube people. Leave a comment down below. What's your favorite fruit and why? Some bad news first. We'll get them out of the way so we're done. It was supposed to be the clip countdown today, but alas, it is not ready, I've been told. It's not ready, so we're not going to get to have it today. It'll come later at some later date. Sorry about that. But we have a bunch of other good stuff instead. Starting with, you guys remember this thing? Was it previous Nymn's News Network I talked about this? This is a Soviet spacecraft, Cosmos 482. So this thing was a spacecraft that was shot up way back by the Soviets, and it was supposed to head to Venus, but it got stuck surrounding Earth instead. And then they found out that it was crashing. It was going to be crashing towards Earth. And this is what I told you guys. At some point, this thing will be coming crashing down onto Earth. And now it has. After 53 years in orbit, Cosmos 482 has crashed on Earth. The 500-kilogram capsule, like I said, was supposed to reach Venus in the 1970s, but then it failed its mission and it's been orbiting Earth ever since. The European Union's space agency confirmed that the spacecraft made a uncontrolled return to Earth, but the crash site is still unknown. Space scientists predicted that the crash would happen around May 10th, and it actually happened exactly on May 10th. So they nailed that. Given how much of the planet is water, it's pretty likely that it landed in the ocean. But solar activity and the spacecraft's deteriorating condition after so long in space have contributed to the uncertainty about where it could hit. So if you guys saw something on May 10th flying through the sky, hitting you in the head or whatever, that might have been it. There might be a Soviet spacecraft lying around where you're at. Next up then, check this thing out. These are images of an upcoming Xbox branded handheld device. This is from Asus, and these have now surfaced. There's two different pictures, one of a white one as well. There's an Asus ROG Ally 2. There's the white, and then there's this one, the black version. On the surface, they look pretty similar to other existing handheld PCs like the Steam Deck, with analog sticks, of course, on the side of the screen, and then the D-pad, A, B, X, Y buttons. But there's also a small dedicated Xbox button that you can see upper left. So this might just be a handheld Xbox. So this info is coming from the US FCC, actually, the Federal Communications Commission, the official certification of the hardware that they provided, and that gives us a first glimpse into this, in case you didn't know, upcoming Microsoft and Asus joint project. It's said to be called Project Cannon, and Microsoft is expected to be revealing more info about Project Cannon in the upcoming months, probably going to happen during the Xbox event in June. There were some rumors floating around last week that a film adaptation of Elden Ring is being planned. An article briefly surfaced claiming that director Alex Garland, that's this guy, he's known for Annihilation, Civil War, that he was set to create a film version of this game, Elden Ring, for A24. That article was posted by little-known site Nexus Point News, and the article was quickly deleted, but not before it was picked up and shared widely, of course, by all sorts of websites, most notably a gaming news aggregator known as Wario64. And the story claimed that Garland's next project would be this Elden Ring movie adaptation shooting in 2026. But then confusion arose when the article suddenly got pulled, completely disappeared, which might suggest that the story is not true at all, that there's not going to be any Elden Ring movie. But then a Bandai Namco PR rep tweeted very cryptically, they tweeted, "This was a fun thing to land to after my PAX flight." And then on top of that, Jeff Snyder, an entertainment journalist known as the Insnider, claimed that Garland is indeed in talks to direct an Elden Ring movie. So there's a lot of rumors, a lot of confusion, and nothing really concrete yet. Garland himself has admitted that he's a big Elden Ring fan. who's beaten the game several times. So he would be a pretty good fit if these rumors are true, which I'm sure we will find out sooner rather than later. Let's talk Twitch for a bit. Twitch has become the latest site caught in Spain's anti-piracy campaign that's been led by La Liga, the country's top football league. For months now, La Liga has been holding court orders forcing ISPs such as Movistar, O2, Vodafone, DJI to block large batches of IP addresses in real time. And on May 2nd, several Twitch Video Edge IPs landed on those block lists. Twitch is not the first casualty either. Many Cloudflare hosted and other shared hosting websites have faced these same issues because they share the same IPs. It's not a South Korea style blackout. In Spain, the site still works outside of the La Liga match windows, with outages confined to ISPs that enforce the lists during games. Relief may take time. On May 7th, sports news agency Diario AS reported that Twitch and other platforms joined this La Liga anti-fraud team, which aims to kill illicit streams within 15 minutes and make broad ISP blocks unnecessary. It's getting kind of complicated, this whole story. Meanwhile, Spanish Twitch users can turn to VPNs, mobile data tetherings, or alternative DNSs to keep viewing without interruption. Just because it's fun, we're going to shit on Tesla now for a bit. They're facing even more trouble with their autonomous car efforts. This time, not over tech or timelines, but over what to call their future self-driving taxi. So the original plan here was to call it Robotaxi, but the US Patent and Trademark Office has rejected Tesla's attempt to trademark it, stating that that term is far too generic, which is kind of true. This application was meant to cover electric and autonomous land vehicles, and it was turned down because of Robotaxi. It's already used widely to describe autonomous rideshare cars, including by other companies like Zoox. So this rejection doesn't mean that it's the end of the road for this name just yet. Tesla can challenge the decision, but they will need to provide supporting documents like brochures, website screenshots, or manuals proving that this term has a unique connection to the vehicles, which it doesn't really. And meanwhile, Tesla's attempt to trademark Cybercab is also having issues. It's been put on hold because other companies are filing trademarks involving the word cyber. That's including some other Tesla-related accessories. Okay, chat, check this out. It's the World Video Game Hall of Fame 2025. And they have recently welcomed their inductees. So since the inception of this Hall of Fame, 49 games so far have been inducted, including Tomb Raider, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Tetris, and Pac-Man. But now it's time to see which video games have been inducted this year into the Video Game Hall of Fame. The newest entries are GoldenEye 007 from Rare. And then the next one is Quake by, is it id Software or ID Software? Anyway, yep, Quake. Also a game I don't really know about. It's called Defender by Williams Electronics. And then finally, "'Cause I'm your Tamagotchi." That's right, Tamagotchi by Bandai. We Gucci Tamagotchi or what? Which I don't really consider a video game, but I suppose they did. They chose these 4 games because they have significantly influenced popular culture and the video game industry. That's what they said in their press release. But now it's time for some quickie stories that we're not going to go too in depth of, but that are still worth bringing up. Starting off with EA and their latest quarterly report, their CEO, Andrew Wilson, announced that Battlefield 6 is officially going to be announced sometime this summer. The exact date is unclear, but it's safe to assume it's going to be sometime in June. And then the game itself is expected to be released before April 2026. Remains to be seen whether that's true or not. Mojang's official support for VR in Minecraft has now ended. Oh no, that's right. In version 1.21.80 of the game, the support has been removed. Mojang announced already back in October last year that support for VR would end sometime after March. And so now that day has arrived. If for some reason you still do want to play Minecraft in VR, there are unofficial options left. If you own the Java version of the game for PC, you can, for example, use Vivecraft or Questcraft. Microsoft is rolling out a redesigned start menu and a bunch of new AI features alongside their new Surface devices. The new start menu gets a much more spacious design with easier access to a categorized all apps view that you can scroll through. And then the AI features include an AI agent right in the settings app. That'll be interesting. Help fix my settings. AI-powered editing for some standard apps. Copilot Vision for visual search. Improved Windows search, allegedly. And AI features in Notes and in File Explorer. Warner Brothers Pictures and New Line Cinema have now set a date for the next film in the Lord of the Rings universe. It's going to be called The Hunt for Gollum, in case you missed it. Christmas 2027, more specifically December 17th, 2027. This new film, as you might figure out, is focusing on Gollum in a double sense. The working title is The Hunt for Gollum, as you heard, and it's going to be directed by Andy Serkis, as you see here on the left, who's also going to be playing Gollum, which makes sense. Same team as before to produce it, namely Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens. And the plot is taking place between Bilbo's birthday party and the events of Moria in Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, which is that part where people are like, didn't you know that it's actually 16 years here, or 17, 18 or something? That's what it's gonna be. Seems that the PlayStation 5 has solidified Sony's dominance over Microsoft's Xbox console now in the console market, at least in the US. By the end of 2024, Sony consoles had a whopping 10 million more US users than Xbox, up from a lead of 6 million that was measured at the end of 2022. Plenty of things that probably influenced this, but of course, Microsoft has changed their strategy. They focus less now on exclusive hardware, and they instead publish games on multiple platforms, including the PS5, as well as the fact that previously Xbox exclusive titles like Forza Horizon 5 have now been released for the PlayStation as well. For example, the player base of Black Ops 6 is now said to be about the same size on PlayStation and Xbox, despite Microsoft owning the studio behind the game. So, of course, you might not have missed it last week. This fella on the left here was picked as the new Pope. The Papal Conclave took place last week, and it ended up giving a big boost, of course, to this movie here called The Conclave. Good timing with the release of that film. And one notable viewer of the movie was Robert Prevost himself, now, of course, known as Pope Leo XIV. He mentioned that he watched the film to help prepare for the experience and to better understand how the conclave process unfolds. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at some other various things that have been taking place around the world, Starting off with this came out from Warner Brothers as well. A ad for Final Destination Bloodlines. You can watch the next Final Destination movie in 4DX. Look at that. They call their new seats death chairs. And every on-screen fatality has been perfectly synced with the death chair. Talk about immersion, eh? A once-in-a-lifetime experience. Meanwhile, in Ohio, the cops were surprised to find a raccoon inside the car they pulled over. It turns out that the raccoon was tame. I guess it was a pet of the person driving. And look at that. Very helpful indeed. Helped the officers present the evidence. A couple of crack pipes. Maybe was trying the product himself as well. Family of ducks were stuck on Interstate 205, and they were escorted to safety by an Oregon state trooper in Oregon. Aaron Elleman has now gone viral for his actions that were filmed by a motorist. So he helped this little family of ducks cross a 3-lane freeway. The ducks have yet to comment on the events. Time for a record of the week. In China, a 15-person team from Foshan Sunhoi Smart Technology set a new world record by toppling 51,725 playing cards in a single domino run out of the 52,344 that they set up. So they missed a few. It took them about 15 hours of careful preparation inside a special windproof room fitted with, of course, Sanhohi doors and windows. Check this one out at the 34th annual Valles Mountain Man hill climb. Bam, a rider fell out of their snow machine mid-jump. It appears like he was physically fine, but he might have lost his, or at least a part of his pride. For our next story, then, we've got 22 boxes containing 70,000 lollipops. And these candies were ordered by the son of this lady. An 8-year-old used her phone. He spent $4,200 on Amazon without her knowing. He said he just wanted to throw a carnival and give them out as prizes. That massive order left her pretty stunned after it drained her bank account. And despite the efforts to cancel the order, 22 giant boxes showed up. The community helped her resell the candy, and then later, Amazon actually issued a full refund. A recent study has revealed that the most emotionally triggering text message that you can receive is a single one-letter reply, the lone K. Published in the Journal of Mobile Communication, this study found that this response is often seen as cold, passive-aggressive, or uninterested, making it the most negatively received message in digital media conversations. So if you want to piss someone off, try a single K. The Gulf of Mexico has been renamed the Gulf of America on Google Maps for US users, of course, as you might know, following an executive order by who did these notes? Former President Donald Trump. And now Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, that's her on the picture, is responding by filing a lawsuit against Google, arguing that the renaming is misrepresenting international maritime boundaries and that it's infringing upon Mexican sovereignty. Sovereignty. She is emphasizing that while the US may choose to rename their portion of the Gulf, that should not extend to areas shared with Mexico and Cuba. Despite these objections by Mexico, Google has maintained the new labeling for US users, citing adherence to local naming preferences. Searchlight Pictures is allegedly working on a sequel to the 2004 comedy Napoleon Dynamite. That's right. Director Jared Hess is expected to direct the film, and the original cast previously said that they're only interested in returning if the original director is returning, which he now is. And those were the news we had on the board. We are now going to take a look at a few extra things. Fucking is linking that. Is this out now? The fucking... There's no way this worked well. The robot vacuums are now getting arms. They're stepping up their game. This would be good with like cat toys. You know, we put all of their cat toys in this big container. Then the cats actually go there and pick out the cat toys again and start to play with them, like little kids. Twitch is finally copying one of YouTube and Kick's biggest features. Rewind? Ooh, finally live rewind. It might be announced at TwitchCon Rotterdam. Wow, took you long enough. All right, so what is this? Streamer University.
I'm excited to extend to you a most heartfelt welcome to the very first class of Streamer University. Here you will find a school where chaos is encouraged and content is king.
Wow.
I look forward to seeing you all on campus for our first ever semester. Sincerely, Headmaster Kai Cenat'. Last but not least, Reggie.
Oh, production value. Guys, I'm not going to the US.
I'm excited to extend to you a most heartfelt welcome to the very first class.
Oh my God. Hey, yo, you gotta accept it, bro.
God damn it, you're right. I'm in? Yes, you're in.
I'm going to the university, bitch! Finna make it out the trenches, nigga.
See you soon.
Nigga, we ready. Nigga, we ready.
I look forward to seeing Stock Guy and E Money in this. 90,000. Facing backlash. Sorry. After fans noticed that only black streamers have been accepted so far. How do they already know who's been accepted? Relevant to his video, he also used the wrong submit form.
Hey Kai, I would love to be a professor in
no.
your streamer university. I have been doing this for almost 10 years. I have tons of
He's fluent in French and Spanish.
experience. I know pretty much everything there is to know about streaming and how to build a nice, good community. I have one of the